Yo, people, what it do? Welcome back to another video. It's your boy Tony, aka Two Tone. Barcelona wins a tough road game at Slavia Prague, 4-2. Entertaining game, great goals, a total of 6 goals. You have some own goals, some golazos. It was really everything you would want from a neutral. As far as a Barcelona fan, I'm tired of seeing our defense concede silly goals, especially from set pieces, man. But I'm not gonna complain. I'm not gonna complain a lot in this video because at the end of the day, we got the job done, man. We got the 3 points, which was huge. Because of the 3 points, we are now 9th, and we are just 1 position away from being in that top 8. So Barcelona can avoid the round of 16 knockout tie that they now have in this new Champions League format. Great game, great result. Let's go over the game a little bit, talk about a couple player performances, and let's just get into this, man. So let me make a little switch here. All right, so let's start with the lineups. Remember Lamine Yamal, yellow card accumulation, so he did not start today. So as the front 4, you take out Lamine for Rooney, which is what you would expect. You got Lewandowski at the striker position, Fermin at the 10, and Rafinha out left. Frankie de Jong and Pedri is what you would expect in the midfield. And Koundé starts again at right back, Eric Garcia. And instead of Kubarsi as his partner, we have Gerard Martin, Balde at left back, of course, and then Jean Garcia in goal. I'm gonna be real, I don't really know anybody on Slavia Prague to go through their starting lineup, but you can tell based on their formation in a 4-4-1-1, they were going to play pretty low and they were going to be compact. But as we get into the match, Barcelona was able to eventually figure out that defense to be able to break it up. So look, I'm looking at the starting lineup, and I was pleased to see that Eric Garcia and Gerard Martin were our 2 starting center backs in this case. Not because I have anything against Kubarsi, but I'm gonna be real. Kubarsi this season has been a bit off compared to what he was the last season, especially last season, but maybe even the season before. And it's okay, man. Look, he's still only a teenager, and sometimes we get so used to seeing these teenagers play well that you almost forget that they're teenagers. And you get into that habit, especially I bet for Hansi Flick, to continuously play these guys all the time, whether they make mistakes, whether they had a decent game or not, they just continuously play. And I think sometimes you're dealing with a teenager, even if he's playing well, if he's not playing well, you don't want to overplay him. And I think almost even more than Lamine's case, Kubarsi has been playing almost every match, it feels like. So it was nice to see him rested. Like I said, I think Lamine would have started if he didn't have the yellow card accumulation. So it was nice to see Rooney start. I've been asking for Rooney to play a little bit more. Everybody else is what you would expect as far as the starting 11 will go. And again, this was a game that Barcelona had to have. So it's a pretty strong lineup from Hansi Flick. But to start the game, man, look, in the 6th minute, it was a great ball that was played in from Rafinha to Fermin, who chested down but skies it over the bar. And that was a good start for Barcelona. The first 5 or so minutes, we were controlling the match. But then in the 9th minute, going into the 10th minute, Barcelona concedes a corner kick. And it was just poor defending on the corner. I'm gonna be real. We conceded a corner, ended up conceding a goal. Balde loses his man near post, who the player flicks it on. Who was that scored that goal, bro? Was that Kusic is how you say his name, that right mid. I don't know if they gave. Okay, so yeah, okay. Holes was the guy who beat Balde near post. Flicks the ball after winning it near post. He flicks it back to the back post. Frankie de Jong is there with Kusic, I believe is how you say his name. But they both kind of like trip over each other, and the ball was under Kusic's feet. And as he's rolling over, ball still stuck under it. Somehow it just trickles past the line and it gets past Jean Garcia. It was a jammy goal nonetheless. They were a bit fortunate, But Barcelona, again, man, it's already bad enough we can't defend an open play. But to be conceding opportunities like that from a corner, that was a bit embarrassing when seeing that defense there. Balde has to do better, not allowing his man getting to the near post. And we're going to see a theme with that because that's how they got their second goal, winning that first ball. Well, they played it near post again, but that's how they ended up getting their second goal because it was an own goal. But we got to do better on the defending on the corners, man, because without Kubarsi, without Ronald Araujo out there, we didn't have any aerial threats winning the first ball whenever the ball was played into the box or wherever's a corner. And they took advantage of that on that first goal, winning it near post, had somebody back post. Like I said, they were a bit fortunate to have it go in the way that they scored, but nonetheless, credit to them because it looked like that was a set piece play that they drew up. Barcelona wasn't prepared. Barcelona goes down 1-0. The next 10 or 15 minutes, you know, we're looking for an opportunity, and it comes in the, well, yeah, it was what was it, 30, it was some 33rd, 34th minute. Fact check me on that. But Barcelona did get the equalizer. It was a beautiful team goal that we ended up scoring. Eric Garcia, who had a really good game today, as you can see with his match rating, but also I just felt like he commanded that back line and he was making plays from that back line by carrying it up from the back line and trying to make plays. But in that 34th minute, Eric Garcia is carrying the ball from the back line. Rafinha back to the goal right outside the box is calling for the ball. The ball is played into Rafinha from Eric Garcia. Rafinha first times flicks it to Frankie de Jong like it looked like it was going to be a 1-2. But Frankie de Jong instead turns around, has a bit of time to look, not that much time, but just enough time to look at Fermin Lopez to play a through ball in. I thought the pass was a bit too heavy because the angle that Fermin was at when he received the ball, I'm thinking he's not really going to be able to do anything with that, even though it was a good, intricate bit of play that was played there. But credit to Fermin. The goalkeeper, should he have saved that? Yes. But Fermin Lopez, after getting the through ball from Frankie de Jong, he powers it. He knows that I really don't have much to shoot at, so I'm just going to shoot with all my power. And the goalkeeper's hands were like this, and instead of parrying the ball away, his arms is up like this. He tries to make a save. It bounces off his arm, and he scores near post. Again, great attempt from Fermin, way to put power on it, get something out of nothing, making the most out of nothing. But I think the goalkeeper should have probably saved that. But nonetheless, it's 1-1. So I'm thinking, all right, cool. Here we go. We about to do our thing. And then after the just about maybe 8 or 9 minutes later, after equalizing, Barcelona takes the lead. Fermin Lopez. I mean, Fermin Lopez, to me, man, there's so much potential in this kid, man. And I still think he's far from being the finished product. But a great golazo, again, showcasing the shot power that he possessed. Pedri receives the ball on the right-hand side, outside the box, kind of does like a half spin, sits on it for a little bit, lays it off to Fermin on the left-hand side from outside the box. He don't need much time to think on it. He takes a touch. He fires it straight at the goal, but it kind of bends away from the keeper going towards the left-hand side, hits the left side of the net, and Barcelona goes up 2-1. Golazo from Fermin. Easy assist from Pedri. But Pedri didn't have the best game today, but he still managed to get an assist out of that. But credit to Fermin, that was really all him. That was him that put all the power behind it. When it comes to finishing, bro, it's really between him and Rafinha who are the best finishers at the club. This year, Lewandowski, not so much. We know he has that historically in his career. He's been a great finisher, but we're dealing with 37, 38-year-old Lewandowski, and his finishing, he needs a few opportunities before he can get it in. As far as just pure shot power and just creating the most out of nothing, him and Rafinha, for me, are the most lethal in front of goal. So I'm celebrating. Barcelona goes up 2-1, and literally, I think, what was that, the 42nd minute? Literally the next minute, again, as a Barcelona fan, it's so hard to celebrate a goal because within a minute we can give up. We just did that. What was that? What was it against Real Sociedad? We scored a goal and then immediately down the right hand side we concede, and it's just like it's happened so many times this year where it's like we score, we feel we can kind of relax a little bit, and that's where teams pounce on us. Because in the 43rd minute, just 1 minute after taking the lead, Slavia Prague got another corner, and that's the own goal that I was referring to earlier in the video from Lewandowski. They played it near post. I think Lewandowski was either expecting the first player from Slavia Prague to actually make contact. He kind of whiffs it, and Lewandowski's down like this, so he couldn't even really see the ball going towards him, but it bounces off his shoulder, gets past Joan Garcia near post to make it 2-2. Unfortunate. Hate watching us defend at times because it's just like the amount of opportunities we can see from teams, whether it's a corner, open play because of the high line, we trying to run an offside trap. It gives Barcelona fans heart attacks, man. For me, now I ain't gonna lie, I go into the match thinking, especially if it's a European match, I'm thinking, man, we conceding at least a goal or two. This is the way we are. And this time we didn't even really concede an open play. It was 2 from set pieces because we couldn't win anything in the air. But going into halftime, 2-2, Hansi didn't make any significant changes. And then to start the second half, Barcelona got the first opportunity in that second half. Eric Garcia plays a through ball into Lewandowski, who lays it off for Pedri. Pedri controls it with his left foot, takes it. Powerful shot. It is straight at the keeper, but it was a decent attempt nonetheless, and it was forced out for Barcelona corner. Didn't make anything from the corner, not too surprising from that. In the 50th minute, Barcelona ends up scoring to make it 3-2. But they ended up ruling Lewandowski offsides in the build-up play. So right before Frankie de Jong calmly walks the ball into the back of the net, they showed that Lewandowski was just barely offside. Just barely, but to be fair, he was offside. So goal disallowed, didn't count. Unfortunate news for us Barcelona fans, but something that we should be used to by now, and I hate to admit it, but Pedri picks up a muscle injury. They believe it's a slight tear in the hamstring. It may not be nothing super serious, but he may be out for 3 to 4 weeks. I love Pedri dearly. One of my favorite players, one of the players I adore the most on this team, but these injuries, man, it kills me because it's important moments throughout the season where we need him and he's missing. We got to win the next game, our last game against Copenhagen. And we're going to be without Frankie de Jong due to the yellow card accumulation, and we're going to be without Pedri because of the muscle injury. Nonetheless, he gets subbed off for Dani Olmo in the 60th minute. Rooney comes off as well for Rashford. Rafinha is now on the right, Rashford's on the left. And instant impact, man. That's the theme in this second half, in my opinion. I think the subs made the difference in the second half because we get a golazo from Dani Olmo in the 63rd minute. After the ball was crossing to the box, trying to find Lewandowski, Slavia Prague clears it, but then they cleared it right to Dani Olmo outside the box, who takes a touch. And look, that finish is one of the best finishes you're going to see. That goal was crazy. It was crazy. Beautiful goal from Dani Olmo, hitting it upper 90, top bins. And it's so funny with Dani Olmo, man, because some moments he's really good, some moments he's really bad. You just don't know what you're going to get. But that's the type of player where if you need something to change in the game, that's the kind of player you put in. Same thing goes for Rashford, who we're going to get on in a little bit as well. But that's a good impact player to have, and he made his impact, giving Barcelona the lead 3-2 in the 63rd minute. And then right after that, after going up 3-2 in the 70th minute, Balde lays it off to Rashford, who was sprinting into the box, calling for the ball. He receives the ball, takes another touch in the box, and he fires a low cross into right in front of the net to Lewandowski. Now, the pass was a little bit high and it was hard, so Lewandowski had to fire it to control it. Bounces up, and before the goalkeeper could get out there to punch the ball off the volley, Lewandowski was able to tap it in with his left. pretty calmly, to be fair to him, to put us up 4-2. Great play from first starting off with Balde, who I've criticized because Balde, he's not bad, but he's not good, and I haven't really seen much improvement for him over the last 3 or 4 years. But that was a good ball from him to find Rashford sprinting into the box. When Rashford make those runs, I've always said, play the ball to him. We don't have a lot of players making runs sprinting into the box. So when we see that, reward that. Balde did that, fair play to him. And Rashford didn't try to do too much. After making a run, he takes a touch, kind of does a half spin, but then he just fires it across box because he knows Lewandowski's going to be there. And Lewandowski, all the credit in the world to him, because that was a tough pass to try to control, but he controls it nonetheless off his thigh, and he finished it to make it 4-2. And after getting that own goal, which was his first goal in the Champions League run on the group stage, unfortunate, he was able to get it back by getting one for himself to put Barcelona comfortably ahead, up 4-2. And from that moment on, we had a couple half opportunities. I remember Rafinha played a through ball into Rashford down the right-hand side, who was, again, off the counter, making a run. Rashford receives it. Didn't really have much to play it to anybody else, so he had to take the shot. But it was straight at the keeper, who comfortably makes the save. And after that moment, I mean, that was really about it. But again, huge 3 points from Barcelona. Huge 3 points. Going into individual player performances, I kind of highlighted it while talking about the game, but for me, the best players in this match were, and you could tell by the match ratings, I want to start off with the defense. Eric Garcia ushered this back line for us today. He was everything for us. Again, the 2 goals we can see was from corners. Has nothing really to do from him. But as far as open play, he was there not only defensively, but he was helping us build in our attack from this back line. I really like seeing Eric Garcia in this back line, whether it's him partnering with Gerard Martin or if he's partnering with Kubarsi. I do think going forward, at least for the rest of the season, since we kind of know we're not going to be doing any more business in January, I would like to see Eric Garcia from here on out, as long as he's healthy and he has the energy for it, which even if he don't, I kind of really don't care. We got to have him in the starting lineup. I ain't going to lie to you. So I want to give a personal shout out to Eric Garcia, because everybody's going to talk about the goals and everything like that, and you may not think about shouting out a defender when you conceded 2 goals. But when you look at the game in its context, you will know that had nothing really to do with him. Eric Garcia, solid performance, ushered both defensively and helped us get things going forward from the back line. So shout out to Eric Garcia. I thought he had a really good game. And Frankie de Jong. Look, a lot of times people like to be hard on Frankie de Jong. For whatever reason, I think sometimes the hate on Frankie de Jong is forced. I think the propaganda that the club ran against him a couple years ago when he was linked to Man United and all the talk about his high wages, I think it worked. And some fans will never look at him the same. Whether you blame him or blame the club, whatever, I call it propaganda. But nonetheless, I think it worked as far as having people look at him differently. He's still a world-class midfielder in my eyes. And today he carried this midfield. I love Pedri to death. Pedri didn't have a good game today. Yes, he had an assist, but that was all the work due to Fermin Lopez. And it's not like Pedri was sloppy, making mistakes. It's just we really didn't see him in his presence enough like how we normally do. And on a roll, you would like to see that from one of your better players. Unfortunately, we didn't get a chance to see that because in the 60th minute, he had to be subbed off. But Frankie de Jong, nonetheless, beautiful through ball that he played in from Fermin, who, again, I mentioned earlier in the video, he really had nothing to shoot at. But he was able to score, and that was a great job from Frankie, just to be able to stay poised after receiving the flick from Rafinha. He was able to still keep his head up, find Fermin, play the through ball in. But all in all, outside of that pass, I just thought he was our best midfielder. At least if you're not counting Fermin as a 10, even though that is technically still the midfield. As far as just between him and Pedri, Frankie de Jong to me, without a doubt, was the better player of the two. And just want to give a shout out to Frankie, because a lot of times fans are hard on him. So when he has a good game, you got to give him his praise, got to give him his love. Fermin Lopez. Fermin Lopez. I mean, I said it earlier in the video, man. I think between him and Rafinha, they are the best finishers at the club, and I don't think it's even close. When it comes to shooting and just sheer power, like I said, that first goal we scored, he had no business scoring that. From that angle, that tight of an angle, he really shouldn't have scored, but because he put so much power behind it, the goalkeeper really couldn't save it how he wanted to save it, so it parries off of him and he finds it back in the net. And then that second goal, like I said, Pedri lays it all to him, but it really, not to discredit Pedri, but you know, he did all the work here. He meaning Fermin. And that shot he took from outside the box, I don't care if people say that some of the defenders from Slavia Prague may have gotten away. I don't care. I don't think he's saving that anyway. The shot that he takes outside the box, kind of on the left-hand side on outside the box, he shoots it and it still up and angles back to the left, hits off the side of the net. Beautiful goal from Fermin Lopez. I thought he had a really, really good game today. Lately, from the 10 position, he's just been giving us goals and assists. He later got subbed out for Mark Bernal to kind of shore up the game in the 80th minute, and I felt he did that. But great game from Fermin Lopez, man. And the highlight of this game to me was the second half, and it was the impact subs that were made in the second half, because Dani Olmo comes on, and I don't, with Dani Olmo, man, he's so funny because sometimes he's really, really, really good, and sometimes he's really, really, really bad. There's really no balance between him. He got games where you don't even know he's out there. Then he got games where he scores golazos and he gives you the winner. So there's really no in between with Dani Olmo. But nonetheless, golazo that he scored, and impact sub, man. He came off from Pedri. I was curious to see what was going to happen because he left Fermin at the 10 when Dani Olmo came on, and I don't really love Dani Olmo in the center mid position. If he comes on, I'd rather have him at left mid, the center mid. We already know his preferred position is a cam, but if Fermin is still there and you got Rafinha and now Rashford out on the wings, I would much rather see Dani Olmo up somewhere up in attack, but he had to play in the central mid, especially since Pedri got hurt. But credit to him, because after the ball was played in, man, and the ball falls to him from outside the box, he really only had one place to put that. Upper 90, going across from his body, and he did that. And that was a hell of a goal from him. And another impact sub that was made today was Marcus Rashford, because after he sprints into the box, he was able to find Lewandowski, who was their back post. The pass was a little hard, but I get it. You had to do what you had to do to beat the defender. Lewandowski can handle that kind of pass as he thighs it up and then volleys it, beating the keeper before the keeper had a chance to clear it. So, shout out to Hansi Flick, because Hansi was the one who made the subs. One, he had to because of the injury, but the other one with Rashford, seeing how the game was going and leaving Lewandowski in there, because a lot of times we get on Hansi Flick for the fact that, man, you sure do love you some Ferran Torres, but you know what, now I think about it, Ferran wasn't even in the squad. Somebody let me know why Ferran Torres wasn't in the squad. I didn't see that he wasn't in the squad, so maybe he was out with an injury. I didn't know that. I ain't gonna lie, this whole time I didn't know it. That explains why Lewandowski stayed on, because I low-key think if Ferran was in the squad, if he wouldn't have at least started, he would have definitely got some minutes in this game. But all right, I'm still gonna give credit to Hansi for leaving Lewandowski out there, because he could have held through Rashford at the striker position and left Rooney outright, so you never really know. But he left Lewandowski out there. Rashford finds him to get an assist. So 2 big contributions from the bench players today. And Ronald Araujo, it's good to see him back on the pitch. I know a lot of us don't like him personally, especially from what he's been doing in the big games, letting us down, and what he's done here lately, but it was good to see him back on the pitch. We probably could have used him more in the game, I ain't gonna lie, because we couldn't win really any headers in the box. And Ronald Araujo is probably our best defender in the air. So, but it was good to see him back out there. It was nice to see Mark Bernal go get some minutes in the Champions League as he continued his development. And we already announced that he will not be leaving the club in January, because it was rumored that he may leave the club during the window to get more minutes, more consistent minutes out on loan. But looks like that's not going to happen, which is good news for most Barcelona fans to see that Mark Bernal is going to stay. But all in all, man, look, this was a good game, good win, big win. Actually, before I even switch it over, let's take a look at the standings, because I mentioned it here in the beginning of the video. Barcelona currently sits 9th. I was looking at the Chelsea game. It was 0-0 for the longest, but they got a goal, I think, at the 80th minute. So they just barely won to put them back over us. But we got a game at home against FC Copenhagen, who is currently 26th. I don't think that they will be making it out of this little, I'm not gonna call it a relegation zone, but they won't be making it to the round of 16 knockout playoffs. That I kind of can say comfortably, even though they are tied on points with Olympiacos, so they will have something to play. I'm not going to disrespect Copenhagen, but at the end of the day, Barcelona's at home. Lamine Yamal will be back. Yeah, we're going to be out of Pedri, and we're going to be playing without Frenkie de Jong, which is concerning. I'm not going to lie, it is. But I think at home, and Barcelona understanding we need to win so we can try to get in this top 8. We're going to be back at the Nou Camp, which it feels like we haven't been there in a long time. I can't tell you the last game Barcelona played at home at the Nou Camp. So the crowd should be up for it. I believe the players will be up for it. I know Hansi will have them ready. It's still a lot to play for, but I think Barcelona should still be able to get us over the line to get 3 points. Now, we got to hope for some results somewhere in this top 8. Specifically 6 through 8, somebody drop points and then we get all 3 to help us get into the automatic qualifiers in the top 8. So an exciting day, good result for Barcelona, great performances from really everybody. I didn't want to call out anybody who didn't have a good game, because I mean, look, Rafinha didn't have a good game, Rooney didn't have a good game, Balde, he had a pre-assist, but I thought he was okay. Koundé, typical bore fest from him, he looks heavy and all this. I could have got easily into the negatives, but today we're going to focus on the positive. Barcelona won, we got the 3 points. That is all that matters. I know this video ended up being a long video. I do apologize about that, but your boy got a chance to sit back and watch the game and take some notes, and I just wanted to go over it with y'all. So let me know what y'all thought about the game. Let me know who impressed y'all the most. Was there anybody that y'all were disappointed in that y'all want to talk about? And what do you thought about, the situation with Pedri? It's unfortunate with his injury. What do you think about the fact that Frenkie de Jong is not going to be there? So who are we going to have in that starting 11, especially in that midfield for our next home game in the Champions League, the last one in the group stage? But it's a lot to talk about, man. So if you made it this far into the video, I really, really, really do appreciate your time. You could be anywhere in the world, but you're here watching my video, so much love. Thank you for that. If you haven't already, please subscribe, like this video, and yeah, man, comment. Talk with me in the comments down below. Let's talk about this game. And yeah, man, we looking forward to the weekend match in La Liga, and then after that, we right back into the Champions League, man. So we about to pick up here now that the calendar year is flipped. We about to start getting some games back to back to back, and like I said, it may not be timely when I can post these, but nonetheless, I will be getting y'all these videos as I promised. So I'm gonna get up with y'all in the next one, man, and much love for y'all making it this far. So I'm gonna get up with y'all in the next one. Until then, Two Tone is out. Peace.